everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Euphoria Season 1, Episode 3, Made You Look. So I think we're all starting to see the trend now where each episode is going to center around a specific character. And for this time, it's going to be Kat. So we saw at the end of the last week's episode that Kat was going to kind of get into camming after her video of her having sex was placed on the porn site. She read the comments. She was intrigued that people wanted to see more of her, that they wanted to have sex with her. So this kind of sparked this self-confidence for her now. Like it's not necessarily self-confidence because she's really getting the confidence from everybody else, but she decided, you know what, I'm gonna get a new look and I'm gonna do me. So we're given a backstory into her childhood. She had a pretty decent childhood. Everything was going fine. Nothing like, oh my God, I just had the best childhood ever. But she was happy. And so her parents took her on vacation during the summer. She was attacked by a jellyfish. I was like, poor kid, you just can't win. You gotta have somebody come pee on your leg because, you know, if they pee on it, it like stops the stinging. But so she was just like, you know what, I can't do the outdoors. I ain't messing with no ocean. But you know what I do like? My girl, she loved her some virgin pina coladas. And so essentially she drank way too many over the course of her vacation. So when she returned back to school, she was 20 pounds heavier. And so that's when she kind of started to gain weight. We see that she had a little boo thing, Daniel, her little boo thing. And even when she came back, he was like, are you wearing 2 sweatshirts? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, you're so disrespectful. For I know he didn't know no better. But we see that he loves her anyway until it only took until like 4th period. My man's broke up with her via note, but he couldn't even write the note to break up with her. So she started getting into like watching shows and seeing like what real love looks like through television, which I find really interesting because when you are young and you're watching TV shows, you're just like, I want somebody to love me like that. And I ain't even gonna lie, I be watching stuff now. I just like, I want that kind of love. You know, when a Notebook came out, everybody's like, I want that Notebook love. So I think it's very interesting to see how television or media and films and TV, how that kind of shapes what our view of love is. It's kind of one of the earliest views that we get outside of watching our parents or, you know, watching our siblings or anyone else who are in these serious types of relationships to get that first glimpse of what we think love is supposed to look like and what we're supposed to experience. Almost to the point where we're kind of living in this fairy tale that really doesn't exist in the grand scheme of things. It's not going to be like the movies. And for those of you who've experienced that, go ahead, do your thing. But anybody who's struggling like I am in this dating pool, that ain't what it's looking like. So we see that she starts getting into doing some fan fiction novels. And I was like, fan fiction stories on Tumblr. And I was like, that whole thing with One Direction, I was like, girl, that's interesting. Like, can we get a movie off of that? Because that was a really interesting take on like a rumor that people had been saying. I don't know that much about One Direction. I probably need to go look up who these people are. I know who Harry Styles is, but I don't know who the other person was. But yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. So we see that she basically starts trying to make twerking videos. She's like, got a little twerk on. I said, okay, girl, I see you because I can't twerk. I'm challenged. I done had private lessons and everything, y'all. I'm just challenged. There's some things you can't do, and I can't twerk all the way. So we see that she's doing that. However, she's not getting the likes or the comments that she had as she saw like with the video of her having sex. And so she starts watching all these crazy videos. And I think it's really funny because even from a YouTube perspective, it's almost like the dumbest stuff in the world that you would just think, who is going to watch this? That is like what's also getting views like on porn. And then we saw the person like wanted to like look at her feet, and she's like making the little, like taking pictures of her feet. I thought her mom was finna walk in on her twerking. My nerves was bad. My heart stopped. I was like, Lord, please don't let her mama walk in. She didn't even start her career yet. But she was just taking pictures of her feet. So we see that she decides that she's going to, this guy like messages her and offers her like Bitcoin, you know, to like video chat him or whatnot. And so she goes to Ashtray to try to understand what Bitcoin is because all of her friends, Maddie and BB, they didn't know what Bitcoin was. And so of course it's Ashtray and Fez who's explaining what Bitcoin is. But I like when he was like, hey, if you on some human trafficking stuff, I ain't helping you. I ain't down with that. I was like, okay, Ashtray, you better stand for something, even though you're still selling drugs. But I guess it's okay because you're against human trafficking. And so we see that she ends up doing this video with this guy. And so this guy looks so creepy, looks so weird. And so then of course he has a micro penis, and you know, I was going to go into the story how I discovered what micro penises were, but it's still a rough story for me. So we'll just save that for a drunken day. So he has his micro penis and he gets off because he tells her like, hey, my type of thing that I'm into is a little cuckoo. So I'm just letting you know now. And so then like he basically wants her to insult him. So she started laughing when she saw like his penis and how he was talking and stuff. I started laughing. I was like, girl, you can't be laughing. You're going to mess up your coins. But we see that that's actually what he likes. And so she starts making money off of this, and then she tells him like, you know, I'm gonna fine you if you're bad. And so he was like, I've been a bad boy. And then she was like, that's $100 fine. And my man starts sending her coins. I was like, I'm in the wrong line of business. This all I gotta do is just text somebody all day and stare at you looking crazy. Like, Lord, what was I thinking? So she starts getting all this money. She goes to Ashtray to basically exchange her Bitcoin for actual money, and him taking his 20% bacon fee. You know what, Ashtray, you all right with me. You gonna make your coins too. And so we see that she goes into this store. She's trying to like amp up her look, and I thought that she was really smashing old dude. I was like, okay, girl, so you just said you just gonna take the world by storm. But that was just a daydream. But it seemed like he was digging her, and I was like, girl, you not picking up on that? And so she basically has this newfound confidence, this newfound look. Her mom was looking like, oh, okay, girl, go ahead, do you. Even Ethan, you know, he had paid for her food early and stuff. She on this grapefruit diet. Girl, don't do it. The food is okay. You can still eat and lose weight. It's okay. And so he was like, you look different. And she's like, I've changed. And so she has this new confidence about herself, this new look. And she basically finds that through being this dominatrix through these videos, like it's helping her cope with, you know, being confident in who she is, what she looks like. And I'm interested to see like where this Cammy thing goes. Like, are the people at school gonna find out about it? Is her mama gonna find out about it? I just need more answers to this, but I'm excited to see kind of where her storyline goes. Now, for storyline that I really just don't care about, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, I do not like Cassie and McCray. I think his name was Chris because her mama said his name. I was like, first and foremost, who mama letting their daughter go to college with their boyfriend, stay the night, like while you in high school? Who does that? Like, mama really letting me do that mess? Are you serious? And she was just like, don't come back pregnant and make sure you text me when you get home. I said, girl, but she with her like mans. You don't think she gonna be smashing? Like, you worry about her getting home safe. You need to worry about her smashing. I know you don't want her to get pregnant, but dang, you just real free with your children right now. But we see that he's trying to get into this like fraternity. And I guess one of the things that bothers me about his character is that he's like, it doesn't even feel really indicative to like a black like man, a young black man in college. And I don't know if necessarily just because he goes to this predominant white school, predominant white college, trying to get into this white fraternity. I just don't know if I can really connect to his character, because I know I went to an all white high school, all white college. Like, I don't know. I just want him to be more black. And I know that sounds so horrible, y'all, because I'm here for the diversity and having people, you know, on screen that look like me, but I just can't really connect to his character or his story. He just doesn't seem believable. His relationship with Cassie doesn't seem believable. They all like, I love you. Now I love you. Now she was ride or die when she did the whole goldfish thing, like took the shot with the goldfish. I was like, okay, girl, you are ride or die. But I just don't believe in you guys' relationship. It doesn't come off as convincing to me. I don't feel as though that these two people will really be together in real life. And it's just really starting to make me mad. So I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way. Let me know how you guys feel about the whole Cassie and McCray relationship, because it ain't it for me. It's just when they're on screen, I'm just bored anyway. I just can't even take it. But let's get into some more, you know, some more stuff that's a little bit more juicy. But you know what? I'm going to talk about Rue, and I'll end with Jules and Nate. Child, it's just too much. So, you know, Rue was on those drugs, and she went to go stay with Jules because Fez had her come pick her up and take her home. And so she comes home to her mom's house. Her mom's upset because she didn't come home until the wee hours of the morning. And so she makes her drug test. She passes it because she asks Jules to give her pee after Jules tells her, like, hey, I'm not going to be best friends with someone who's going to die. Like, that's not okay. That's not what I signed up for. I have enough craziness that's happening, like, right anyways. I just can't do this on top of that. And so she was just like, okay, you're right. Like, I'll get clean. So I find it interesting because she has this connection and she's like in love with Jules, that when Jules tells her, like, I'm concerned about you and I don't want you to die, that, you know, she's more willing to do that for her than when Fez, that we saw in the first episode, when he's really having this serious conversation, like, I care about you and I like you and I just don't want anything bad to happen to you. So it's interesting, you know, how because she's in love with Jules, she can do it more, but also to a reoccurring theme that we see throughout these past 3 episodes that we've gotten to know Rue a little bit more, is the fact that her wanting to get clean is not for herself. It's not to make herself a better person. She always talks about how she wants to be better for those who love her. She wants to be better for her mom and her sister. She wants to be better for Jules. And so it's never something for her that she really wants to, like, rid herself of this addiction. She just doesn't want the people who love and care about her to be upset, to have their feelings hurt, or to have to deal with her dying. So I find it really interesting how she cares more about others than necessarily how she feels about herself as far as getting clean. And so it's interesting, we see in the beginning of the episode, she's speaking in her Narcotics Anonymous class, and she's talking about how the hardest part is, like, trying to learn how to do this for herself and not necessarily for others. But then as we get to see the episode as it plays out, she's high the entire time that she's saying this. And my man Ali, he looking like, ain't this but a bitch? This girl sitting up here had all these people falling for this mess. This girl got this whole little story making it seem like she really sharing with everybody. And so I love how he confronts her. You know, he's waiting for her outside, and then he was just like, let me talk to you, young blood. That's how you know you talking to an OG, because when they call you young blood, I just got such a tickle off of that. But he was just like, you know what? He starts asking her questions like, hey, who was the one who found you? Like, how did you end up there? Like, who found you? And then she tells him, like, hey, my little sister. And so he was just like, imagine, like, what that would do to a 13-year-old to find their sister, like, dying in front of them, and how that will lead to them having trust issues, not being able to connect to people, being distant because they're always looking for that person to potentially leave them, and how finding her can lead to so many other issues in her life. And you can see that Rue is really getting choked up about this because I don't know if she's necessarily really thought of it that way. And so we see when she comes home, she tries to spend a little bit of time with her sister, but I do appreciate Ali, like, really giving her, like, the honest truth about what her addiction does to others. And then he also tells her, like, when you want to stop killing yourself, hit me up, we can go get some pancakes. I was like, I mean, who could turn down pancakes? But also too, it was crazy because she took the drugs that she got high on, she took it from her Jules' dad's place, because she went to go get some water, and she saw the pills out there. And it's just crazy how, like, she wanted to be clean, and just like that, you know, she saw it and she was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, basically take the pills. So Rue's having a hard time right now because Jules is basically in love with Shy Guy, aka Tyler, aka Nate. And so they've been texting and stuff. We see them texting throughout the whole course, like this whole little montage of them texting. And then, you know, Rue's feeling a certain type of way about it. And so Rue is like, you know, she been acting different this whole week. And then it's interesting how Jules says her, like, girl, you been acting different. Every time I text on my phone, you get quieter, you stop talking and stuff. And so I thought it was funny because she was telling Rue what Shy Guy's name was, and she's like, who you talking about, Shy Guy? She's like, his name is Tyler. And then she's like, I don't care, it sounds like a fuck boy name either way it goes. Oh my goodness, that actually tickled me because I just, fuck boys, you already know. But we see that she starts talking about these, like, dicks. So he said like he has a big dick. And so basically she was like, well, how big is it? And she was like, you know, he, like, sized up next to an Avion bottle. And I was like, well, how many ounces was the Avion bottle? Because this could have been like the little mini bottle. I need context. And I love how they go into this the different types of dick pics, solicited, unsolicited. And then there's different, like, types of the solicited dick pics, like horrifying, terrifying, acceptable. And how she broke it down, I was like, you know what? That actually makes sense. And you know what, that whole scene was like pretty damn funny. And even watching Jules as she's like turning the clips for her. And so then they come to agree after they see the pic that, okay, like he has a nice size, you know, penis. So, you know, towards the end of the episode, Jules is like, hey, Tyler wants to meet me. And she's like so excited to tell Rue, and then Rue is kind of like killing her vibe. And she's just like, that's not safe. Like, meet him in a public place. Like, why are you trying to meet him somewhere private? And she was like, you don't have the same privileges as me because I'm trans. And like, you just don't understand. Like, I can't go out like this. His parents has issues. His parents is conservative. He's a jock. All this crazy stuff that's happening. And so she was just like, you know what, like, you were the person I wanted to tell the most, and you just like, you ruined the moment. So she walks off, and then we see that this causes Jules to have a lot of anxiety. And so she starts kind of, you can see her in class, like her whole facial expression changes. And Zendaya, she did a really great job this episode, you know, acting throughout these different emotions that she's experiencing. And so she ends up leaving she sees that Jules not in class. She sends her a text message. She doesn't respond. And so she goes to Jules' house to go talk to her. And she starts like breaking down crying. Like, I just love you so much, and I just want the best for you. I want you to be okay. I don't want you to be mad at me. I don't want you to think that I don't support you. And so they make up. And basically, you know, they're hugging. It's like a moment. I was like, oh, okay, like, they go kiss, and then Rue kisses Jules. Jules kind of like steps back a little bit, and then she runs away. And then she goes to Fez's house to get more drugs. And then they have an interesting interaction because, you know, he was just like, you can't come in. Like, you can't come here anymore. I'm not going to help you kill yourself. And so she basically, like, calls him a dropout drug dealer. Like, you did this to me. You sitting up here telling me you don't want to kill me, but you're selling drugs to all these teenagers. And she's like, if you don't open this door, like, you're going to be dead to me the rest of my life. And then she basically says that she hates him. And then, like, he was just like, I'm sorry. He walked away. And I felt so bad for Fez because I know that Fez likes Rue. And I was just like, he likes you. And I know Jules don't like you, but he like you. And I think you guys would be cute together. And I think he cares about you. But it's also, you know, a tough situation because he has enabled her. He's allowed her to do drugs, get her fixed. Even after she was out of rehab, almost died, he still gave her more drugs. So I think that whole relationship is pretty interesting. And then we see at the end of the episode that she decides to call Ali to get pancakes, maybe get clean, or just to talk. We don't know. But I think Zendaya, she did a very great job this episode. And I love kind of these themes of her always putting other people before her, and how her addiction is for her to find quiet, but she wants to please everybody else. So let's talk about Jules and Nate. Okay, so Jules and Nate, they've been chatting, or Shy Guy, Tyler, Nate, whichever name you want to call them. So they've been chatting and stuff this whole episode. They all cute. I like how y'all fall in love through text message. Y'all don't want to talk on the phone. Like, we just text all day. I could never. I can't. I fall asleep before I even hear the text message go off again. So they've been talking like all day, all night. Even Maddie sitting up here looking, seeing him texting at school. You know, they was in the car. She was trying to tell him about something with her parents. And he was like, you know, the phone kept going off. And she was like, my man, what is happening? And so we also see when they're having sex that she sees the dick pics, and she was like, the fuck? And so she leaves. So clearly she's like, she knows something is up, and she also knows that he's chatting maybe with guys. So I don't know how that's going to play out. If she's going to out him, she's going to confront him. Like, what is that going to look like? But I find it interesting that when they're talking, because they are chatting on a gay dating app, but he's telling about a dream that they had when they went camping, and she's like, are you sure you're gay? He's like, I told you I'm not gay. And she's like, you do know that you're on a like gay dating app. And he was like, all I know is I met a beautiful girl. And so I don't know if he's pansexual, and I'm not going to say he's pansexual because of his background, even with his dad. I think that to him, because Jules looks like a woman, that to him, he's not gay, and he's kind of in denial about being attracted to, you know, a trans person and what that implies, or even him being on a gay dating app in the first place. And so I'm still kind of torn. I don't know if he knows who Jules is, like, really, because you see that he looks at her while they're in class, like while they're texting. It felt like he knew who she was. I don't know if this is going to be like a sick game of him. He like maybe found out that she had sex with his dad and is trying to plan something crazy. I don't know. Or maybe this is just genuine and they don't know who each other are, but they're supposed to meet up. I don't know how all of that is going to play out. necessarily, but I don't know. I'm really torn by this because I feel like he knows, because he's such an asshole, that I feel like he would plan something crazy like that. But I mean, if it's real and he not trying to be vindictive, you know, the whole thing is cute. I want to see how he kind of lives his truth. I'm sure because this is like a drama that he's going to be outed. But we do see that the episode set up to go through Jules' backstory and kind of what she went through with her parents. Seems like they kind of like her mom sent her to a conversion camp. That's what it kind of looked like from the previews. I'm not sure. But overall, I think this episode was still pretty good. Hands down, Stunning Like My Daddy episode 2 is the best episode so far of the series. It's only 3 episodes in, but I like how we get to learn these backstories of each character during like the different episodes. And I really am interested to hear Fez's backstory. I really want to know like who they're taking care of, like how he got into this whole drug dealing, what made him drop out. I really want to learn more about him. I don't really care about Maddie and all her friends and stuff like that outside of Kat. But you know what? I'm gonna keep watching. Like I'm still feeling Euphoria. I'm still having a good time. So you guys let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of this week's episode? What are you most excited to see as the couple of next episodes unfold? But those are my thoughts on Euphoria Season 1, Episode 3, Made You Look. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pair Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.